Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is HUMNA and I share content connected to art, healing and spirituality. Today I want to talk about this statement that is so simple, and when you look at it, it's just a few words. He who believes needs no proof, right? In Allah, in the Creator, in the one who owns you, in the one who loves you. We don't need to have a proof of his existence to believe in him. Just the fact that you and I exist, that in itself is enough proof. But I wrote this note down and I'm going to read it out to you first and then take it further. To believe in Allah only when you see the proof is not a sign of being a mu'min. The one who believes knows that he is in all that is and is in all that he isn't visible in. A believer believes not because he has a proof, but because he doesn't need a proof. For Allah resides in his or her whole being, and that in itself is proof that his master is the one who owns the whole of its being. When we really truly try to grasp the understanding of who we are, right? The being that we are, the person that I am or you are, everything about myself, whatever that myself is, that defines you. We're going to strip everything off that. So your education doesn't matter, the family that you belong to doesn't matter, the way you look doesn't matter, where you live doesn't matter, how much you earn doesn't matter. I want you to go really deep within yourself today and just strip everything off you and try to see yourself not as what you have been told or taught, but that who you are for your Allah. The moment you connect to that space, when you go like completely naked, so you are not defined by nothing, right? And in that moment, you start just observing. You have two hands, you have a beautiful body, you have eyes, you have a nose, you have ears, you have hair, you have legs, you have feet. All of these have a certain job, a certain purpose, right? Now go a little bit deeper. The organs that you have within yourself, the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, the stomach, the brain, the heart, right? Go further in a little bit more deeper. The veins, the bronchulars, I don't know what they're called, but that which is inside the lungs. This is where my pre-medical year 12 and year 11 should shine, but it's not, I guess, because Allah is showing us that it's not just the knowledge that you really need. What you need to know is that there are vessels and tunnels within you that don't need a name for me to remember, to know that he is the one keeping those vessels, those flowing tunnels open for me to breathe and for my blood to reach every single part of my being. Just because I don't know the name doesn't mean I can't feel the lungs expanding and contracting as I breathe in and out, as my heart is beating. I am able to recognize that the blood that needs to be passing through my whole body wherever it is needed is going to pass through because my heart is beating, my heart is doing its job, and I don't need a proof or a name of what this organ is to say that it is doing its job, right? And so we don't need to know the name of the vessels, but we just need to channel into the understanding that our systems within our being that are being operated by Allah, we might be able to see them, we might not be able to see them, we might be able to feel them, we might not be able to feel them, but yet The power of Allah is such that it doesn't need a proof for you and me to believe in Allah, right? As a believer, just the fact that one exists, the vessels, the lungs, the liver, the heart, the body, the fingers, the legs, the toes, the nails, the hair, the eyes, all of these are symbols that represent His kindness for us. For if we had no eyes, we couldn't see. If we didn't have ears, we couldn't hear. If we didn't have the fingers, we couldn't hold. If we didn't have the feet, we couldn't walk. If we didn't have the legs, we couldn't stand. So all of these parts of our body that He has blessed us is what makes us abundant, is what He's telling us through our body. Just the fact that we have a body and the way it works is a miracle in itself. And do you need more proof of His creativity, of His power, of His control than that what He has already on your body? And every single cell of your being, every single vein in your body, every single artery that the blood runs through, every single breath that you take. Do you need more proof than you being in this space of recognizing who you truly are and how magnificently your body is operating? You could be constantly abusing it, neglecting it, rejecting it, abandoning it, and yet the body keeps moving, keeps pushing forward, keeps reminding you that don't give up, for Allah hasn't given up for you. He has given you a breath, meaning He has purpose for you. Your heart is still beating, that means you are here for something that He chose you to do. He chose you to be. And so the more we really recognize into that, of who we are, of who our internal body is, of what our internal body is, we automatically can't be not in awe of this beautiful Creator. You know, looking at the hands, my hands has these lines on it, and I'm thinking about it like every single line has some message of some purpose. I don't know about it. I'm not familiar with what it is saying to me, but yet it has a language of its own. For nothing Allah creates is without a purpose. So every single fingerprint that we all have individually, which is our own identity, just that fingerprint, just that acknowledgement of the fingerprint that you and I have shows us the originality of Him being Ya Bari, Ya Khaliq, Ya Musawwir, for He only creates the original pieces that aren't copied. How much more proof would we really need to believe in His creativity, to believe in Him? For a believer does not need the proof, you see. The believer, the mu'min, is the one who doesn't question where is Allah. For he knows everything is from Him. Everything is existing only because He chooses for it to exist. And so a mu'min has Allah in their heart. And they don't look at the heart just as something that is pumping and just blood flowing through. No. They look at it as light, a space, a treasure, a sanctuary that holds the light of Allah. For a heart to hold the light of Allah, Allah calls Himself the light of the heavens and the earth, meaning He's the one guiding from the heavens, He's the one guiding on this earth. He's the one who opens the doors and reminds you of who you are so you can walk through it to get closer to Him. The reason you have this light in your heart of the heavens and the earth is so that you share it with the world. You can share it through your art, through the way you cook, through the way you are, through your words, through your kindness, through your compassion, and whatever else that you are here to do in your creative being, through your creative being, right? And so when you connect to your creativity, you connect directly to your creator. Your creativity is what was gifted to you, so you could go into it, channel into your creativity, and be able to connect to your creator. Whatever it could be baking, it could be writing, it could be whatever, right? It could be gardening, it could be flower decoration, it could be taking care of children. You could be a nurse, you could be a doctor, you could be a healer, you could be anything. Through your creativity, he not only heals you, but he uses you to heal others. When you fully tap into your creative being, you are directly connected to your creator. And your creativity is what comes from him. You could not create, you could not move your hands, you could not think, you couldn't feel, you couldn't see the colors that you are using. I mean, of course, because I'm an artist, that's what I always come up to saying. But like if you're a chef or a doctor, you wouldn't have that knowledge of your tools if he didn't want you to, right? And so we really have to understand that when we truly become that creative, that being that Allah's created us, the purpose, we jump into the understanding of, hang on, why am I even here? You ask the most difficult questions and you connect to Allah to show you the way. He will show you ways that you didn't even think you could do. So you would have spent your whole life becoming a doctor, and there comes a time where it's not satisfying for you. It is not the money or the status or the worldly attachment is not making sense to you. And you automatically like, I don't know why I've spent like 35 years, 40 years, 50, I don't know. And suddenly you just flip and going, oh, you know what? I really want to do gardening and I'm going to become a gardener. So from a really high status job, suddenly you become something else. And you're like, but I love being a gardener. And that is the path of a believer, of a mu'min who doesn't restrict themselves to be only defined by what they've accumulated in their knowledge. For they didn't come here to just accumulate knowledge, they came here to spread light. And so when you suddenly shift into becoming someone else or something else, or you could be in a relationship and suddenly that relationship falls apart, it is in those moments that you have to recognize, to not resist that what he is pushing you towards, right? That is the moment. That is a moment who says, okay, hang on, I did what I did, I learned what I learned, but maybe this was not what Allah wanted, and so his plan is something else, and it molds you. It just twists your reality and says, what if you were this? And there's no need to have a proof, because the knowledge as a gardener that you have is knowledge that's coming from him. And so you don't need the proof, you don't need to study it, you just know within yourself that is what you came here to do. For that knowledge, that wisdom was inside you, and it is that knowledge. So for example, I'm giving an example of a doctor turning into a gardener, but you can see it as however your heart pleases or resonates with. So you could be doing something else, like I say, relationship or anything. You could be in a career or whatever, and suddenly you feel disconnected from it, you get agitated in it, you get angry in it. And in those moments you have to ask yourself, why is Allah making me angry? Why is Allah not making you angry? It doesn't make you angry. He creates an experience which makes you feel a certain way and say, oh, hang on, this thing that I'm going through is making me question my reality. Maybe this reality that I believe to be true is not the truth for me, and I have to shift and flow and not resist towards that what he is taking me towards, to that person, to that job, to that career, to that country, wherever it is that he is turning you and calling you. The moment is the one who believes in that turn, believes in non-resisting, believes in Allah so much that when their world is falling apart, they know it is only and only happening because it's the qadr of Allah. And because they have that faith in their heart that just that whatever Allah does is for their betterment, is for their highest good. What they do is they move, they flow, they shift the gear, and they become that what they are meant to, as a tool, a vessel for Allah to use to bring more light in this world. And that's what is so important, that to believe in Allah when we see him is so easy, right? Because, oh, I have the knowledge, oh, I am the doctor, oh, I'm making money, oh, I have all the tick marks, the dog, the wife, the cat, the whatever, the house, the car, the whatever, right? All of this, people think, oh my God, I have all this, and this is because I'm so close to Allah. Actually, anything can happen any time of the day, right? And so just because you have all of this is not a proof that Allah loves you. The proof that Allah loves you is the fact that you are able to shift your world, to let go of everything and say, hang on, this is not what Allah wants. What Allah wants is this, and I'm going to go and follow the path that gives me ease, that is easy on my soul, for that's what Allah wants. And so for a believer, he doesn't need to know the path ahead. The believer needs to have the faith in Allah, knowing that Allah will light up all the path that's good for me, and automatically they turn towards that what they know is being guided by Allah. So they don't need a proof that it will work, it won't work, what are the next steps. All of these are like secondary for a believer. A believer believes because he doesn't need the proof, right? And the more you dive into this, the more you expand in your consciousness, your soul just kind of is like becomes the teacher, right? And it says, well, I know what God is, I know who Allah is, right? I don't need a proof. I am the proof, and automatically you are free. You are lighter. You are connected to Him. And all that flows through you is His light, His love. I really hope there was a message in this podcast for you, and if there was, please leave me a comment and connect with me. The energy exchange that you share by sharing the video, by liking the video, by connecting with me, leaving comments and things like that, it really helps me to grow further in, of course, my confidence, and knowing that I have you with me, for I want to be with you too. And together we can, expand our consciousness, connect to Allah, and be in constant remembrance of who we are, so that we can constantly be reminded of who He is. You are a beautiful creation, and the more beautiful you make yourself and recognize yourself as, the more you see your Creator as beautiful, the more you are able to connect to Him in beautiful ways. I hope that you feel connected and resonated, and if so, like I said, leave me a comment, connect with me. You can check all the details below. I do offer one-to-one sessions if you feel guided and you need your brain to be untangled, the threads that really kind of go in loops. If that's something that you want, I'm happy to help you with on your journey within. And also, if you want you to become your own healer, I highly recommend joining my Patreon, because it has all the sessions that have helped me personally to shift my life in ways I don't think I have words to explain. But to become my authentic self, to speak my truth, to own who I am, to recognize and deepen my connection with my Allah, I highly recommend that when you become a member, you can actually become a member and have some of the sessions for free, but then there are some sessions that you have to pay for, and see how you feel guided to, if you want to. And also, I run these live sessions which are on Fridays 11 a.m. UK time, and you can connect through a Zoom link. If you send me your details, I'm happy to send you the information about that. I can't wait to create, connect, and be inspired together, and bring more light into this world, more beauty into this world, and more connection to Allah. And one of the things I feel in my life that I personally didn't have was the feeling of being connected to Allah. And because I was in a space where I needed proof, And for me to reach a place where I am today, where I know that just the fact that I exist is His blessing, is been a journey of huge realization of who He is, and how much He loves us. And so when we stop asking for proof and trusting and going within and connecting to all that He's already given us, meaning the inside of our body, the soul, the heart, the arteries, and nurture our body, nurture our soul, nurture our being, for it's a gift from Him. It's a vehicle. It's like a car that takes you from A to B. So you started your journey in this car from heaven, and then now you're going to go back towards heaven. How are you going to do it? What condition is your car going to be in? And just the fact that you have this car is enough proof. Not that you need the proof, but is enough proof that to Him you belong, and inshallah to Him you will return. I'm sending you lots of love, light, and peace, everyone. Enjoy yourselves and have an incredibly magical day. And may Allah always keep you on His path, closer to Him, guiding you towards His light that is within you and around you. Inshallah ta'ala. Lots of love. Take care. And I'll speak to you soon. Allah Hafiz.